कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। We have been seeing the 12th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Geeta, and this morning, Wednesday in India, we are taking up the 253rd class in this series of talks on Bhagavad Gita. Last week we covered verses 8 and 9 of the shortest chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Yoga, chapter 12. So when we see the verses 8 and 9, to quickly recapitulate in 2 minutes, it is in the 8th verse that Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, "Fix your mind, fix your intellect in me. Be wholeheartedly devoted to me, and that will take care of everything. This life, and even after this life, you will be free of all sorrow." That was the upshot of the 8th verse. And we also saw the 9th verse, which is, as Sri Krishna himself puts it, those of us who cannot fix our mind in God so steadily all the time, no matter what the situation is, rain or sunshine, we are asked to be in God. And those of us who can't do it, where are we to go? That is where Sri Krishna says in the shloka itself, we saw the words, if it is not possible for you to concentrate on God the way we asked in the 8th verse, Chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi yadi. What are we to do? And a beautiful word was used by Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Abhyasa Yoga. Abhyasa yogena tataha mam icha. Mam aptum icha. O Dhananjaya, O Arjuna, then opt for Abhyasa Yoga. That is as simple as this. If remembering God doesn't come naturally to us, most of the time we get distracted by various issues of life as well as temptations towards pleasures, provocations from unpleasant scenarios. Our mind is distracted. Then what do we do? It is said, Abhyasa Yoga. In a certain specific form, this is what boils down to various anushtanas, morning and evening. And in olden days, the Sandhya Vandana used to be 3 times, Trikala Sandhya. Even now, there are some who do Trikala Sandhya, but otherwise, twice, morning and evening. In a lot of traditional homes, morning, the boy is supposed to do 108 times Gayatri Japa. In the evening, again, 108 times. And if you see a standard method or procedure of so-called Sandhya Vandana, which is an example, your Anushtana doesn't have to be Sandhya Vandana only, but what is so common in tradition, Sandhya Vandana has not only Gayatri Japa, but a little bit of Ashtakshari Japa, a little bit of Panchakshari Japa, a little bit of Pranayama, a little bit of Agnikarya. You say some mantras and propitiate Agni Deva, a little bit of certain other arghyas of humble or respectful offerings to Surya Bhagavan, and so on. So I often say The Sandhya Vandana was such a well-conceived package of sadhana in the morning and in the evening, whereby slowly, if not immediately, a certain love of God, a certain understanding of spirituality arises in anybody's bosom. It's never a waste. Morning and evening, Anushtana. That is one example of Abhyasa Yoga. You may do Abhyasa Yoga in some other way, welcome. But in morning and evening, when you do, it is like suppose you have put a dhoti or a sari for drying outside in the courtyard on a drying rope, and lot of wind is blowing. Do you have to put 10 or 12 clips to keep the sari or the dhoti in place? Generally, all we do is two good clips at the two ends, and they prevent the sari, the cloth, from flying off. Like that, twice a day, Pratah Sandhya Vandana, Sayam Sandhya Vandana. That can go a long way in preventing your mind becoming more and more worldly. Alas, even among the so-called Brahmins in this today's world, 95% do not do Sandhya Vandana. They are into everything else. They get into all sorts of business. They join armed forces. They join police. They join, many other professions. And you are supposed to be a Brahmin. Do you do Sandhya Vandana? If somebody asks, oh, I don't find time for it. Some excuse. And they pay a heavy price for it. It is undoubtedly a blunder that not only Brahmins, all Hindus are committing. They don't do any sadhana, but they take so many social issues, and then there is so much of rift, so much of disharmony, so much of jati dvesha also. Neither this so-called upper caste have studied Hinduism properly, nor the so-called lower castes have studied Hinduism properly. Both the groups, the so-called higher and the so-called lower and so-called middle, all of them, very sad, this part, this phase of Kali Yuga, without studying their own religion properly, they just go by whatever they read in newspapers and over so many issues of equality and other things. There is so much of Vaishamya, so much of disharmony. Let me not go into social discussions, but please see Abhyasa Yoga. In Islam, they have 5 times namaz in a day. That is also Abhyasa Yoga. Neither the 5 namaz of Islam nor the two Sandhya Vandana or two Anushtanas, morning and evening in Hinduism, is meant to be restricted to just that. Those 5 practices or those 2 practices every day are supposed to, and they will generate, they will bring about certain connection with God. In fact, when in the traditional system, when a boy is given the sacred thread, a big function is done even these days. Upanayana. And what is that sacred thread meant for? It is a sign of you are now qualified to study the Vedas. Yajnopavitam it is called. Yajnopavitam, and that Upanayana ceremony, which is one of the Shodasha Sanskaras, gives to the boy the eligibility to study Vedas. Vedadhyayane adhikara pradhanartham Upanayanam kriyate. Brahmopadesha diyate. Brahma here is Gayatri mantra is taught to the boy. So the whole thing was supposed to set him on the path of spiritual study. But today, alas, families sometimes do a big Upanayana thread ceremony, spend lots of rupees, lakhs and lakhs sometimes, but thereafter they don't study Vedas. Neither the boy nor the father who whispers the Gayatri mantra in the ears of the boy, they are into all kinds of other things. So, without going further, Abhyasa Yoga can take the form of 2 or 3 short sittings in a day where you practice remembering God, reciting mantras, withdrawing the mind from outer objects, and so on. And that, if done properly, if done regularly, will actually make it easier. One last example is how soldiers practice firing. Soldiers practice lots of rounds of bullets, and they hit a target in the practice session, which is concentric circles with a red dot in the center called the bull's eye. Some of us who attended NCC, National Cadet Corps, have done some amount of practicing, rifle and shooting at that target. So, what is that meant for? It is not meant for just hitting those concentric circles with a bull's eye. When you are trained in that, later on the war front or in any other scenarios, when you need to kill, you need to shoot an enemy who is also to destroy your side, then it comes handy. Therefore, practicing with a target board with the bull's eye is Abhyasa Yoga. And when you have done enough Abhyasa, anywhere and everywhere, there is a terrorist attack, and you are one of the people to defend. You have practiced, you have done Abhyasa. You know how to get to some difficult corners, maybe climbing with a rope, then jumping down, and face to face, you meet the terrorists and finish them off. So, everywhere in all fields, show me one subject where Abhyasa is not required. Any subject in the universities, any skills at various institutes involves practice. So, Abhyasa is in short windows of time. That practice done maybe for 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening will empower you to do what Sri Krishna said in the 8th shloka, which implied be rooted in God, think of God all the time. Mayi eva mana adatsva, mayi buddhim niveshaya is a tall order. But whereas Abhyasa Yoga should be possible for a large number of people. We saw the Shankara Bhāshya also on it, where the beautiful definition given by Adi Shankara for Abhyasa. Chittasya ekasmin alambane sarvatah samahritya punah punah stapanam abhyasaha. Shankaracharya fully understands. The mind runs again, runs for the 100th time. But punah punaha, again and again, every time the mind has run out, and you moment you recognize, hey, where did my mind go? Bring it back. Samahritya alambane stapanam. And through that, you get samadhana, greater concentration, greater steadiness in thinking of God. Now, what if somebody is simply unable to do abhyasa? Simply, sincerely, she or he wants to do, but something or the other, various scenarios, various life's phases, during certain phases of life, you just cannot take time away. Separately, you can't take time out. So, for a large number of us who, for good or bad reasons, cannot take time out, it is said, whatever you are doing, whatever work, do it with a spirit of This is God's work. This is God's work. And that is the level C. I had said in previous class, you have level A given in verse number 8, Mayeva Mana Adatsva. Then level B is Abhyasa Yoga. Level C is, okay, you are not able to sit separately. You are not able to take some time out and sit somewhere in a quiet place, at home or somewhere. Then what is it that is keeping you busy during the day? You say, I go here, I go there, I have to go to work, I have to go to office, I have to go sometimes to places with office work or my own business. All right, whatever you are doing, just have a thought. Yes, I am busy with work, but this work is for God. God has placed me in this job. God has given me this role. God has made me father of three children. God has made me chief accountant in this office. It is all God's plan, and I am here to follow God's plan. Though it seems I chose the job from a higher point of view, it is God who made me take this job, and I will do it with love of God. So that is the 10th shloka, level C. अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि. How kind, how compassionate, how caring, how accommodating Sri Krishna is. You are not able to fix your mind all the time in God. Okay. You are not able to do abhyasa also separately. You can't take time out. Then, then go for mat karma paramatva. Mat karma, whatever work you are doing, you take it as Ishvara karma. Ishvaraya karma. Anena maya kriyamanena karmana Bhagavan Sarvatmakaha Shri Parameshwaraha Priyatam, as the Sankalpa goes in many pujas. Some orthodox people and some people who are of such certain background may take this matkarma in a traditional meaning. Get busy with more and more puja, more and more of temple related activities, more and more of ashram related activities. That can apply to 1% of the population. 99%, 99% people, they are into some business, some work, some job, some family responsibilities, and going to bank, going to post office, going to bazaar, to the market. There's nothing to do with ashram or temple. So, matkarma can mean work related to temple and ashram too. In fact, we find some places, some people who have retired, pretty soon they go into an ashram and take up some role. And then matkarma, that is work being done for God, becomes more explicitly God's work. That is how all that work becomes God's work very explicitly. Then I think it's easier. Therefore, it's a good idea for seniors to be associated with the nearest temple, nearest ashram. If not residing there, be around and every day offer some hours to the ashram. And in the ashram, there are spiritual discourses, there are bhajans going on, there are various celebrations going on, where various anushtanas are taken up. Shivaratri, from morning 6 a.m. to night 12 midnight, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya is chanted in the ashram. And you may be doing some seva in the ashram, but you also hear that. Then this advice of Sri Krishna becomes relatively easier for you to implement. But that kind of meaning is not the only meaning. Even if you are doing something very secular, something not related to God at all. Nothing prevents you from looking at it as work being done for God. For show me one profession where there is no service really to people. Let's say you are in a bank, you are the cashier, you are the junior manager, you are the relationship officer. Customers come. And if you are kind to customers, caring towards them, prompt towards what they need, and in your mind you carry by making this customer fully happy, by truly satisfying that customer, I am actually offering this to God. So every work which doesn't have to be in an ashram or a temple, every work can be made into a God related work. Therefore, Sri Krishna says, you can't sit separately, fine. Whatever you are doing from morning to evening, let it be an offering to God. Mat karma paramo bhava. He makes it even clearer in the second half. Madartham api karmani kurvan. Doing everything for my sake, for God's sake, siddhim avapsyasi. So how nice. Therefore, bring God into work itself. Now you will see this being C. There is a D in the last verse, 11th. There it is, you are not able to think of God during work, though you try to some extent. Then, when the phala comes to you, you work 6 hours continuously and somebody comes and praises you. Somebody on a higher level in the management comes and says, wow, you are truly a sincere worker. You are such an asset to us. That is one kind of phala. And the opposite is, in spite of doing all that, nobody takes note of it. Some even find fault with you. Some say that you didn't do anything properly. So, phala can be priya or apriya. Priya phalam, apriyam phalam. But whatever it is, in the 11th verse, Sri Krishna is going to say, do not take it to heart. Place it all before God. Let it be an offering to God. That is phalatyaga. But over here, karmani eva madartham kurvan. Madartham api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. Let's see how Sri Shankaracharya expands a little bit this teaching of Bhagavan Vasudeva. Bhashya goes, Abhyasayapi asamartah asi, ashaktah asi. Suppose, tarhi in that case. Mat karma paramo bhava, which means madartam karma, mat karma. That is the uh, Tatpurusha Samasa. Because madartam is Chaturthi Vibhakti, you may even call it Chaturthi Tatpurusha. Tatpurusha can be Dvitiya Tatpurusha, Tritiya Tatpurusha, Chaturthi Tatpurusha, Panchami Tatpurusha, Shashti Tatpurusha, and Saptami Tatpurusha also. So this is Chaturthi Tatpurusha. Mat and Karma, there are two words. And Mat goes to fourth case. Madartham, for my sake, this karma is done. For my means Ishvara's sake. Mat karma is Madartham karma, Tat Paramaha. Taking that as of utmost importance, taking that as parama, that taking that as supremely significant. Therefore, a banker, as I gave the example, offers the best services to the bank, to the customers, to the clients, or to whomever he relates. For in the bank also, there are so many kinds of jobs. Some people working in bank don't meet customers at all. They are the back office people. They keep accounts. Today, a large number of IT professionals ask them, well, where do you work? They don't mention a IT company's name. You know. So in America too, we have a friend in Dallas. 20, 30 years, he did not work for IT companies. But every corporation, every business body has an IT division. So this friend of ours in Dallas has been last few years working for Bank of America. He doesn't meet customers or clients, but there are huge office spaces where a whole lot of things related to bank's activities are processed in the computers. Data is maintained, data is protected. There are some tourism agencies there too. Once many years ago, I was pleasantly surprised that some ticketing and a whole lot of accounting of some Swiss Air or some British Airways, etc. All that was being done in Bombay. Somebody working there told me, I work for such and such travel organization. And what do you do? He was an IT guy. Well, my work is all about processing a whole lot of accounts related to tickets sold, tickets booked, tickets cancelled. Travel is another big domain, right? Of which airlines? He said something like, I think American Airlines or British Airlines. I said, you sitting here in Mumbai are working on the sale or purchase or etc. of tickets of American Airlines? He says, yes, Swamiji, look, the world is like that. What is that? Outsourcing and all kinds of things have come up now. There is a famous book which came many years ago. The I think Earth is flat. There is some book like that. So right in the beginning, the author writes and he says how he was playing golf in Bangalore in India. And as he is about to hit the ball, his eyes go up at an angle and he sees Microsoft, the board on a tall tower. After 2, 3 minutes, again he is hitting the golf ball. His eyes go in another direction. He finds IBM or he finds some Hewlett Packard. He finds so many American companies' boards are there. He wonders, am I in America or am I in India? And then he meets Nandan Nilekani, same day. Nandan Nilekani and Narayana Murthy, as you know, were the founders, along with, I guess, one or two others, Shibulal and so on, of Infosys. And Nandan Nilekani uses that expression. When this American visitor says to Nandan Nilekani that, what is this Bangalore? When I look up, it's all boards of American companies on skyscrapers. And Nandan Nilekani says with a smile, yes, yes, Tom, this now the earth has become a level field. You don't have to be in America to work for American companies or to whatever gain or lose. You can be anywhere. There is no particular advantage in the geographical location. Wherever you are, then he uses the word. The earth is a level field, playing field. There is nothing like above and below. Be anywhere. All you need is fast internet and such things, which has become now so common. This was 20 years ago. So, based on that, Tom Friedman, I remember the name, a New York Times columnist, he wrote that wonderful book, The Earth is Flat. The level, it is leveled. Europe or Asia, all of them are leveled. And let me, I feel tempted to share with you one more piece from that book very quickly. He gives an interesting example of a company in Chicago who were a little angry that jobs are going to India or China. We don't want that. So, a certain legal case they give to a 100% American company located in Chicago itself, another part of Chicago. And this company is happy. Okay. We didn't give the job to any Indian company. We didn't let our job to go to China. We gave it to our own Chicago company. And everything was done beautifully in 6 months. They're very happy. Then they come to know that small legal company, law company in Chicago downtown, as soon as they got the job, within 3 days, they sent it to India. They sent it to Hyderabad or Bombay, Pune or Delhi, somewhere. So the actual work was done by people in India, by Indians, and then sent back to Chicago. So the so-called patriotic American company said, "Oh my, how to free ourselves from this kind of." So anyway, humor apart, the idea is mat karma paramo bhava. Madartam api karmani. So you may be outwardly you are doing some IT job. However, if you see the beneficiaries, if you see service done to God, service done to society, then you remember Nara Seva is Narayana Seva. Jana Seva is Janardana Seva. So, by my sincere work, if a lot of people are benefited, it is God who will be happy. I am serving God through helping these people. Teachers can be happy seeing God in the students everywhere. So Shankaracharya says, Matkarma pradhanaha ityartha. For you, that offering to God, offering all that you do, all your work to God. May God be pleased. This morning or today, whole day I worked hard. Some colleague may say, why do you work so hard? Nobody else is working like that. Take it easy. In between, go out for tea and coffee 3 times, 4 times. Somehow 9 to 5 you while away and then go home. So you say that no, I want to work sincere. Did they give you a raise last 2 or 3 years? They are paying you less. Like that, somebody would tease you, irritate you, or provoke you. Now, Gita doesn't say you should ask for higher pay. Please do ask. Please do try for better rewards. That's separate. But don't allow your mind to be agitated. Mind to be agitated because somebody says this or that. You say whether I am at this moment getting enough pay or not. That's a different issue. I will pursue that separately. I believe in working properly from 9 to 5. Whatever hours I spend here, I want to sincerely do my things. The other guy may again say, what are you talking? Your boss praises you, compliments you. I hear your boss is such a insensitive person. Then you reply, yeah, I know. I will work on that separately. Hopefully, I'll make my boss understand. But irrespective of that, my sincere work is making God happy. Krishna is watching. Sri Krishna knows I have honestly and sincerely worked, and he should be pleased. And if he is pleased, I don't care for other things. Other things will fall in place. God will ensure that if not today, at a later time, I will get much better pay, which I deserve, and all that. Shankaracharya adds, Abhyasena vina, though you could not sit separately morning and evening for upasana, madartam api karmani kevalam kurvan. By merely doing whatever you are doing for the pleasure of God. Ishvara prityartham, Parameshvara prityartham, Siddhim. So one may ask a question. We have read Jnana Devatu Kaivalyam. How can just by Karma Yoga one achieve enlightenment? Acharya Shankara provides the missing information. When it is said by offering your work to God, you get Siddhi, the highest realization, what is meant is via mental purification. Siddhim, he says, Sattva Shuddhi. First, Sattva Shuddhi here, same as Chitta Shuddhi. The word sattva, is many times used in the sense of chitta, because in our life, more than the body, the mind is the most important tool. Sat means true. Truly speaking, our mind is our asset. So in Chandogya, Ahara Shuddhau, Sattva Shuddhi, he said. Though the word used is Sattva Shuddhi in the famous seventh chapter of Chandogya Upanishad, if your food is pure, your mind will be pure. For mind, the word used is Sattva. Likewise, here too, if you do Karma Yoga, your mind gets purified. Sattva Shuddhi. That leads to yoga. With a purified mind, you will be able to, yoga means connecting. You will be able to connect. You will yourself be surprised. You will be able to connect with God more and more easily. Many of us complain, I can't concentrate on God, because at this moment our mind is not pure. So, Chitta Shuddhi, then comes the stage yoga, that is uniting, connecting with God, being able to reflect on God, think of God. And then Upanishad study will happen. Jnana Prapti Dwara, Jnana Prapti Dwarena Avapsyasi, Siddhim Avapsyasi. And in the last verse of this set, though there is a summary shloka later, but the 11th verse talks about level D. अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुम् मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागम् ततः कुरु यथात्मवान्. Arjuna, suppose somehow with all good intentions, you are unable to think of God while doing some work. Your mind has strong conditioning, old habits. When you do some work, the thought that arises is only, I'm working so hard, will I get a pay rise? I'm working so hard, will I succeed? Will I be praised? Will my profits, if you are running your own business, I'm working day and night, will my profits rise, or I'm going to just remain at the same kind of income? I want to earn more. I want to rise. What I get, what I will become. Suppose that is what is in your mind. No way God comes in there. Never mind. Try to, in between here and there, say, may God be pleased with this. But your real challenge in this level D is you let go of any pride or pain when the result comes. अतैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुम् मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागम् ततः कुरु यथात्मवान्. Even this requires a great amount of self-control. Yatatmavan means sanyata, sanyama. Without sanyama, nothing is possible in life. In materialistic ventures, as well as in spiritual work, we need sanyama. And we have to develop it more and more. We need an integrated approach for it by simply deciding, okay, tomorrow onwards I will be highly self-controlled, nothing will happen. Integrated approach means work on the food you eat, work on the timings of the food you take, work on your speech. Many a time you need many hours of rest at night because during the day you spoke so irresponsibly, it caused agitations in your mind, and those agitations make you sleep a little more because you don't have peace. You don't neither get sleep so easily, nor do you sleep continuously because you hurt somebody, and like Newton's third law, action and reaction are equal and opposite. You hurt him, and either he also gave it back, or the memory that I spoke such unkind words to my own sister. I spoke such unkind words to my own husband. I should not have. Those agitations. will rob you of proper sleep. Then you say, I am not able to get up early. So there is a lot of interrelated aspects in human life. The food we eat, how we speak, how patient we are, how sensitive we are. We have to work on some of our weaknesses. Then, if we live the day more properly, then we get deep sleep, we are very fresh, we are very cheerful, we will be able to do spiritual practices also. So, all that is said in this shloka is Phalatyagam Kuru. As all of you know, Bhagavad Gita is especially known for this great teaching of Phalatyaga. Karmanyevadikaraste is praised so much publicized. Everybody in the world knows. Gita talks about Phalatyaga. Gita talks about 100 other topics, which some of them are far higher than Palatyaga, some of them are maybe a little lower level. Gita has so many things to say. But if there is one teaching which has spread far and wide as the main teaching of Gita, it is Palatyaga. Atapunaha etadapi yaduktam matkarma paramatvam tatkartum ashaktaha si. During work, to visualize that this work is God's work. Suppose it's impossible, then don't give up. Madhyogam ashritaha. At work, try to here and there. Mai kriyamanani karmani sanyasya. Continue to try to offer your work to God. Karmani ishvare sanyasya. That yoga, madhyoga. However, since your performance in that context is rather poor, tam ashritaha san. While the effort continues to offer work itself to God, what you are able to do, what you successfully do would be the next level. Sarva karma phalatyagam karmanam phalasanyasam tataha anantaram kudu. Tataha means anantaram. Without any gap. Work is over, results are coming. Don't say, I am getting very agitated because I got so less than expected. Uh, keep calm, somebody says. I can't keep calm now. See, I was expecting $10,000 here and I've got only $200. I'm very angry. No, no, don't get angry. A friend advises you. You get angry with the friend. Anybody in my position would get angry, etc. Whereas Anantaram means don't delay the calming. Calm down now itself. Take things, see things in a larger perspective, then you will be able to do Phalatyaga. Phalatyaga, let me say once more, doesn't mean you just accept anything and everything just like that. No, you, if it is unjust, if it's unfair, you find out what can be done. Whom should I tell? You know, I was a teacher at a college long back. One girl came to me after one evaluation. Sir, she said, what? You have given me only 4 out of 10, some test I had conducted. I said, yeah, this is wrong you have done. No, sir, please see, I have solved the problem in a different way than what you had taught in the class. Oh, really? So I looked at it. In fact, I was very pleasantly surprised. She had done some problem, mathematics was involved. So some derivation, whatever you call, science subject. She had solved the problem in a more elegant manner than what I had taught in the class. I shook my head and said, okay, I had given 0 to you in that. Now it will. So she got finally 8 out of 10. Thank you, sir, she ran up. So by approaching the teacher and asking, I should get more marks, this evaluation has gone wrong. Nothing wrong in that. Sri Krishna doesn't say, for better phala, don't put in effort. All he says is that prasada buddhi. When the phala comes, don't fret and fume, don't go into negative energy, don't waste your emotions on getting mad at X or Y. Be calm. I accept this. If nothing else is possible, fine. But I will try to go tell the teacher. I will go to tell the you know authority and so on. In this way, Falatyaga has to be understood. So next time we will see the summary shloka, and where, especially in the next 12th verse, Sri Krishna praises um, Falatyaga as though it is the highest. Tyagat Shanti Anantaram, a punchline comes in the next shloka. We'll see it later. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.